In this first-person narration, a teenager takes her younger sister's place in a fight-to-the-death game called The Hunger Games in a post-apocalyptic North America. This is my book review of The Hunger Games. So before I review the book, I gotta tell you guys that I've read the entire series of The Hunger Games, and it is a really good series. But I want to tell you when I first read The Hunger Games. So it was last year. It was a few months before the movie was gonna come out. So I decided to start to read the book The Hunger Games. But then I got trailed off with like high school work and everything. So I was like, I'll just postpone my reading for Hunger Games, and then skip to a month before the movie was going to come out. So I was like, better read it before it comes out. And after reading The Hunger Games, I was like, holy crap, this is my like favorite book ever now. That was like a year and a half ago, right now. But yeah, like since then there's been other books that I've liked like over The Hunger Games, but Hunger Games is still in my top 10 books of all time. I decided to reread The Hunger Games like for a third time now, and after reading it, I can still tell you guys that it's good still. The good points. So I think the main good point about Hunger Games is the author, Suzanne Collins. I mean, she did a really perfect job of like making this story, making the characters, making the backstories, the side stories and everything. I mean, she did like a perfect like job. I mean, I really didn't see anything wrong with The Hunger Games, to be honest with you. I mean, I've read it for a third time now, and I still haven't seen anything wrong with The Hunger Games. I think it's one of the most perfect books I've like read, because like when I read something that had to do with something else, like in like a few pages before, I don't have to flip through it because I remember like in my head what happened like in that moment, like a few pages before. She does a good job of like getting you invested in the story and with these characters, like to be emotionally invested. And I read this interview, and I find it to be a little bit funny. I either read this interview or I watched this interview on YouTube, but Suzanne Collins was being interviewed, and she was asked what was the inspiration for The Hunger Games. And she said that one of the inspirations was that she was flipping through TV, and she, like from one channel, it was reality TV, and then when she went to the next channel, it was the news coverage of the invasion of Iraq or something. And she somehow like computed those two things together to like make part of the Hunger Games. I know that, and I was like, that's a little bit strange, but okay. But then the other things that inspired her was mythology that she read as a child, and short stories that she's read, and a few other things from parts of other things to make up the rest of the novel. Yeah, so other than that, like all I can tell you guys is like it's a really like fantastic story. I mean, and to be honest, this is my, I don't know like what your opinion on this is, so put a comment below. But I think that Hunger Games is the best book of the Hunger Games series, because mainly the book is about like being picked for the games, going through like the pre-show games, and then going into the games, and yeah, it just goes on from there. And I really can't find anything wrong with this book, because like I said, it's perfect. Like there's like, I could not see anything wrong. I mean, and like I said, went through it for a third time to see if there were any like inconsistencies or anything, but there weren't. I mean, it's just perfect in my opinion. The only other thing that I can say about The Hunger Games without spoiling it to you, because yeah, I'm not gonna spoil like anything in this book. I mean, you guys need to read it for yourself if you haven't read it yet. But I like the ending because like the ending tells you that, well, it doesn't tell you, like you can infer that there's going to be like another book. So what's my score for the Hunger Games book? 4 out of 4 stars. I mean, doesn't get any better than that. And that's it.